Good evening. I'm Mark Sheridan, Vice Provost for Graduate and Postdoctoral Affairs and Dean of the Graduate School here at Texas Tech University. I'm pleased to welcome you this evening to the 21st Annual Fellowship Donor Recipient Recognition. We appreciate your attendance at our first ever virtual fellowship recognition. I'd like to begin by recognizing the University leadership, President Lawrence Skuvanik, Provost Mike Gelin, Vice President for Research and Innovation, Joe Heppert, and all of my dean colleagues across the university. I'd also like to acknowledge the leadership of Institutional Advancement, Patrick Kramer, Byron Kennedy, Alicia Knight, and Kim O'Neill. Tonight we are here to celebrate graduate education at Texas Tech University and to recognize our fellowship recipients as well as our donors. We should be particularly proud of the graduate enterprise here at Texas Tech. I'm pleased to announce that we have a record number of master's and doctoral degrees that we awarded this last year, and we have a record enrollment of over 6,600 students, graduate students, this fall of 2020. But we're about so much more than numbers. In addition to the disciplinary expertise that our students acquire while they're here at Tech, we're committed to each student receiving the professional skill set that they need to enter and succeed in the workforce in every sector of the economy. As you'll learn more about tonight, our students go on to do amazing things that have impacts on society. And in so doing, helping assure the economic vitality of the region, the state, and the nation. TTU has emerged as a comprehensive research university with a vibrant and growing graduate enterprise, a top-tier enterprise, and it's definitely cause to celebrate. I'd like to begin tonight by introducing our president, Dr. Lawrence Skuvanik.
I appreciate this chance to make a few comments to the 21st Fellowship Reception. I know this has been a challenging year for all of us, but I think it's important at a time like this to think of the good things that are happening in 2020. Texas Tech will have another record enrollment this fall, and there's a particularly large increase in our graduate population. I believe that speaks to the brand and reputation of Texas Tech, to the quality of our faculty and the research and scholarship that's being carried out, but also it's a great reflection of the support we receive from donors like you. The graduate school is very fortunate to have a substantial endowment, and that endowment and those funds are essential to recruiting the quality and the number of graduate students we need to support our research enterprise. And that research enterprise this year will achieve a record in research expenditures and new grants secured. Students select a university for a number of reasons. Graduate students in particular are very focused on the academic quality and reputation of the institution. But the culture of that institution is also an important part of how they decide where they'll go to school. That culture is based on people and relationships among those in the university community. Faculty advisors play a fundamental role in those relationships, but so do our alumni and our supporters. Your support speaks to the sense of community and family that distinguishes Texas Tech. Your continued connection and support of this university is essential to the ever-growing reputation and quality of the university. So I thank you. I thank you for all that you do to support our graduate school and for remaining connected to this institution, especially during these most unusual times. The gold standard of communication is face-to-face interaction, and I look forward to the next time we can be in one another's presence. And I can thank you for all that you do for the graduate school here at the university and for all of Texas Tech University.
I'd now like to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Michelle Pantoja. Dr. Pantoja received her bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees in mechanical engineering from the University of California at Davis. Dr. Pantoja is now the J.W. Wright Regents Chair and Professor of Mechanical Engineering here at Texas Tech. Dr. Pantoja's research is in the area of combustion and contributes to the cleaner and safer use of solid fuels. This work has been supported by the National Science Foundation and the Department of Defense. It has been featured on the Discovery Channel and has led to over 130 publications, 5 books, and 3 patents. Dr. Pantoja is an advocate for early engineering education and is a co-author of award-winning children's engineering books. She's also Dr. Michelle, the engineer, on the PBS Kids show, introducing engineering to preschoolers, and she's a board member of the Science Spectrum.
Welcome to the 21st Annual Graduate School Donor Recipient Fellowship Reception. I am Professor Michelle Pantoja here on the beautiful Texas Tech University campus, and I am so excited that you're here. This event is one of my favorites because it captures what makes graduate school such an exciting experience: research. So join me as we go visit a lab and see how some graduate students are doing research. Doing research gives you an opportunity to use the skills that you've learned in the classroom applied to a real-world situation. Your quest is loaded with asking questions and then investigating the answers. And one thing I love about research is that it happens on a team. You'll work with your mentor, faculty, and your peers across disciplines and across the university. Whether you're designing a new experiment or learning a new programming language, your contribution is towards a greater good, improving our world and our way of life. I personally enjoy research because I love learning more about the world around us and how it works. Please know that your contributions help inspire and support the next generation that will make a positive impact on our future. Thank you for being here.
I'd now like to recognize our fellowship donors and their fellowship recipients. The emergence of TTU's graduate enterprise as top tier has been accelerated by the generosity of numerous donors. Donors whose foresight and sense of responsibility recognize the value and importance of graduate education and has led to them to establish and or contribute to our endowment to provide graduate fellowships. We have an endowment that now allows us to offer over 600 fellowships, nearly $4.1 million annually, to graduate students from all across the campus in all areas of study. These fellowships enable us to attract and retain the top students and have them do their work here at Texas Tech, the really important work that you're going to hear more about in a bit. I'd now like to recognize our donors, our donor representatives, and the recipients for each of our fellowships. The American-Mexican Friendship Waterman Scholarship, and our donor representative is Dr. Jorge Zamora.
Jóvenes, estamos en una época diferente. This is a different time. Pero eso no impide que pueda yo felicitarlos. That doesn't stop me from congratulating you and from sharing my pride and my joy de que puedan ustedes compartir esta beca, this fellowship, this scholarship. As a American born in Mexico, I relate very much to your accomplishments, and I'm very proud as an American and as a Mexican. And you young scholars, everything you have done, I'm just sad that we couldn't be together sitting at the table, but please know that I really am happy for you, and that it is a great moment that nothing can take away from you or from us. This is a great moment of pride, a great moment of accomplishment, and as young scholars that you are from Mexico, or having obtained a degree from Mexico, and now you're working on something here at Texas Tech, it is something that you really need to feel happy and proud about, and I congratulate you. Un abrazote, a big hug on my behalf, and go Texas Tech.
The AT&T Chancellor's Fellowship, provided by AT&T Incorporated, and our donor representative is Leslie Ward.
Good afternoon. I'm Leslie Ward, and I am so honored to be with you, not only as the president of AT&T Texas, but as a former Red Raider myself. As I reflect on this day's program, I could not have imagined in 2002 that almost 20 years later, we would be here celebrating the success of close to 2,000 recipients of the AT&T Chancellor's Graduate Fellowship. I'm incredibly proud of the value and dedication that AT&T places on education. I want to congratulate each of you, the students who now serve as ambassadors for the AT&T Chancellor's Graduate Fellowship Program. Your gifts of leadership, intellect, determination, and scholarship will bring forth our new leaders, artists, and innovators. AT&T is very proud to play a small part in your success. These impressive young women and men are diverse in their fields of study, culture, experience, and background, and will have an impact on our state, our nation, and the world. The possibilities are truly endless. Let me be the first to challenge you to change the world. From here, it's possible. Thank you, and Recum Tech.
The Joshua D. Britt Memorial Fellowship. Our donor representative is Dr. Sonia Britt Luter.
Hi, my name is Sonia Luter, and I am the very proud donor of the Joshua D. Britt Memorial Scholarship. It is a great honor to be able to support students, and to have the ability to be able to give this fellowship to one of you is an absolute delight. While not nearly as exciting of a trip, it was a much easier trip, and I'm very pleased to be with you this evening and wish you well in this weird COVID environment. I hope that someday you are also able to support the future Red Raiders. It's great pride and honor to walk across in the middle of Kansas where I live, or when I'm on vacation around the world, and recognize somebody as having Texas Tech or Red Raider gear on and giving them the simple guns up, and it's very quickly returned with lots of memories and smiles. And I very much wish that for you in this weird COVID time, to develop some really wonderful lifelong friendships and some really great memories during your studies. My very best to you. Good luck.
The Cash Family Endowed Graduate Fellowship. Our donor representatives are Don and Kay Cash and their son Clay. The CH Foundation Graduate Fellowship, provided by the CH Foundation. The CH Foundation representatives are Suzanne Blake, Kathy Gilbreth, Regent Mark Griffin, Heather Hawker, Kevin McMahon, Sandy Ogletree, Cheryl Sanford, and Kay Sanford.
Well, the CH Foundation has been involved with Texas Tech and the graduate school for many years, and it's a long-term commitment that we have, and one that we're very proud of, that we see the results of that. As we try to make sure that this area stays strong, we know that undergraduate education is so important and vital to this community, and that the graduate opportunities that we have to participate with the graduate school just means that our reach stretches beyond what we are able to do in undergraduate. So we are thrilled to be a part of this.
Going back to 2009, when we first started the Endowment for Graduate Student Education, we've been able to touch over 159 graduate students since inception of the CH Foundation Graduate School Scholar Program. So we just want to re-emphasize Christine DeWitt's legacy, the benefactor of the CH Foundation, for continuing her mission of higher education here at Texas Tech University.
And the last thing we want to say is congratulations. We are very excited to meet each and every one of you at some point, maybe not virtually, but we expect you to go out and continue the good work that's being done here.
Every day when we hear from our scholarship recipients, it's always encouraging to see the good work that they're doing, not just here on the South Plains, not just in Texas, but even internationally. Our impact has been far-reaching, and their stories continue to resonate here at Texas Tech University. And on behalf of the CH Foundation, we want to congratulate you, our 2020-2021 CH Foundation Scholarship recipients.
The Covenant Health and Social Services Fellowship, provided by the Covenant Health System. Our donor reps are Richard Parks and Lee Turner.
Hello everyone, my name is Lee Turner. I'm a member of the executive team here at Covenant Health, and it's a real pleasure to be able to greet you today on the occasion of the 21st Annual Donor Recipient Fellowship Reception. Now usually I have the opportunity to sit at the table with a group of the recipients of the Covenant Social Services Scholarship Fellowship. And this time, of course, we're gathering in a virtual environment, so I won't have the honor of having tabletop conversation. But it's really, I think, a great opportunity to say thank you to all of the members of the graduate school and people who have helped identify the donor recipients for the Covenant Social Services Fellowship. You know, as I think back of the many years that I've been able to participate, I've always enjoyed the letters of gratitude that have come from the recipients to give the personal insights for why they chose the careers and the educational opportunities that they've selected, and how the scholarship has been able to make a difference for them. Past recipients have come from all over the United States, certainly all over Texas, and some have even come from faraway places around the globe. What unites them is a sense of purpose and dedication to making a difference in the lives of people that they will have the opportunity to serve. And to be a part of that through financial gifts and philanthropy, I think is one of the highest honors that any organization can have. And investing in young persons for their careers and for their vocations. So again, thank you. God bless. Very excited for you this day. Be safe out there. Wear your mask. And remember, guns up.
The Carl H. Gelin Scholarship Fund, represented by Mike and Mary Jo Hamilton.
I'm Mary Jo Hamilton, and this is my husband, Mike. I am a descendant of the Gelins, and they gave this scholarship to Tech, and it was around $1 million. So we kind of oversee that. And she was a commercial artist. I think they call them nowadays graphic artist. But she designed letterheads and advertising, and she did graduate from Tech. Her husband is an engineer. He worked for Lane Pumps, and he was very smart.
He went to school during the Depression, and I think this was one of the reasons why he wanted the scholarship to help students.
The scholarship is for graduate students, and I'm sorry I don't get to meet you this year, but I enjoyed the letters that you get them to write, and they were interested in education and set up this scholarship. They had season tickets to the ladies and the men's basketball games, and they enjoyed that very much, but they liked education.
I think that Carl would have been happy if he thought this scholarship would help a few kids, a few students that are having trouble, and especially during this time. I think he'd be happy to know he helped them.
James D. and Mary Hazelwood Memorial Fellowship. Our representative is Elaine Hazelwood. The Helen DeWitt Jones Fellowship and the Helen DeWitt Jones Part-Time Graduate Fellowship, provided from the Helen Jones Foundation. The foundation representatives are James Arnold, Barbara Bush, Quisler Cruz, Samuel Hawthorne, and Mariana Markham. the Peggy Gordon Miller Graduate Fellowship. Our donor representatives are Lou DeKemper and Dr. Peggy Miller.
I'm a little selfish. I want a better world. And the way to get a better world is to help the people who can build a better world. And those are graduate students. I mean, I want a lot. I want a world where we have peace. I want a world where children don't die of cancer, where the elderly don't have to fear their last days because of Alzheimer's. I want a world where everybody has enough to eat. So I really want a lot. But I can't do all those things by myself, and wishing won't make them come true. So what's the next best thing? The best hope we have is that huge reservoir of human intellectual potential. And the very best of it has already been tested when they get to graduate school. We know they're able and we know they're determined. And they got us all this technology into the moon, so I'm making my bet on them. And I have great confidence in them, and I'm hoping everybody else will do the same thing. And if you only want to do it because you have faith in the students, that's one thing. If you want a better world, if you want a return on your investment, they're good for your money.
Preston Ima Smith Graduate Fellowship. Representatives are Wallace and Sarah McKee and Jan Taylor. The Step Toward Assisting Graduate Education Scholarship. Our representatives are Fred Hartmeister and Rebecca Helbaum.
Good evening. My name is Fred Hartmeister. I am a now retired emeritus professor of education and law, and I taught at Texas Tech for just over 25 years. I'd like to make 3 points, kind of addressing 3 different groups. First, myself and my wife. More than 10 years ago, we had occasion to endow a modest scholarship, a Dean's Discretionary Scholarship in the graduate school. And the rewards that we continue to get back every year, getting the letters from the scholarship recipient, reading those, not necessarily knowing who the people are, but learning some about what they're studying and how the support that they've received is important to them. It's just a constant giving back reward. The second group I'd like to acknowledge and thank are the donors, both individual and foundation-oriented folks that I had occasion when I got to serve, had the privilege of serving as Dean of the Graduate School for 3 years between 2007 and 2010. Almost without exception, everyone that we approached was giving, they were generous, they recognized the importance of graduate education in all fields. And so to you folks who hopefully you're still connected and enjoying the event this evening, thank you from the bottom of my heart, and on behalf of our graduate students back then and all those in the future, a continued thank you. And finally, to the recipients who are kind of the purpose of this event, I'd like to say to you, don't wait till you are old and gray like I am and retired to start thinking about giving back. You fully recognize at this point how important support is. Please think about paying it forward and doing so yourselves when that opportunity presents itself. Thank you.
The J.T. and Margaret Talkington Graduate Fellowship, provided through the J.T. and Margaret Talkin Foundation. The United Supermarkets Graduate Fellowship, provided through the generosity of the United family. Our representatives from United are Sydney Hopper, Nancy Sharp, and Robert Taylor.
I think graduate school is so important, and I'll tell you why. I received a great education at Texas Tech. I got a bachelor's degree. I think I got a well-rounded, high-level education, well-suited for me to go out in the business world, and that's great. But you know, if we don't have people that have the availability to use their talents to really specialize and to do special things and learn all the details they can about different topics, we're not going to progress as a society. And I think it's really great that we have such outstanding students. I think it's great we have people supporting them because, you know, they have, in most cases, they have other responsibilities. Some are at home, some are taking care of parents, some are with families, and they need the help. But if we don't have these people specializing that are really talented in certain areas, we won't progress as a society like we should and like we have in the past years.
I think for me it's humbling to know that we're able as a community business to be able to help these students. I think as being one of the largest employers in Lubbock, that we have a responsibility to get out there and help them. And I just think it's very rewarding for everybody on our team to be able to meet those students, see where they've come from, see where they're going, and then, you know, later on in life in our community, see them holding positions around the community that's helping lead our communities forward.
Yeah, I'm just thankful that we at United have the opportunity to help people that need the help to get further their education. Education is about the most important thing that you can give somebody. And if we can give a scholarship, I don't know what else we could do that's that more important. We've had two basic pillars at United, and that's one, to avoid hunger. We fight hunger in every way we can. And the other is to give the opportunity of education. And this is just one example of the opportunity of education.
The Elo and Olga Urbanowski Fellowship. Our representatives are Jim Bertram, Ernest Fish, Art Glick, Ellen Kavashny, Lloyd Urban, Joe Urbanowski, John Urbanowski, Julie Urbanowski, and Jim White. The Water Conservation Research Scholarship, provided through the Sandyland Underground Water Conservation District. The board members of the Water Conservation District are Stanley Ashburn, Ricky Bearden, Ross Hilburn, Linda Powell, and Tracy Welch. The Ed and Linda Whitaker Graduate Fellowship, generously provided by Ed and Linda Whitaker. This fellowship supports the Whitaker Graduate Fellowships, the Presidential Fellowships, and the Distinguished Graduate Student Assistantships.
Linda and I are great supporters and we're happy to do it. But I guess the real reason is I admire someone who has the ambition and the energy and the drive to keep going in a graduate school. In my case, I was so glad to get out. I couldn't imagine going to graduate school. It would have exhausted me. But I really respect those who want to continue their education, their ambition, their drive to do that. I think that's terrific. I suspect they're not in the greatest financial shape, at least some of them. One is, and I want to see them go and succeed at what they're trying to do, be it masters or doctors or whatever. And they're going to make the world a better place. They're going to find things, do things differently, further educate. I think it has a great potential outcome. So that's why we support it. It seems like they really appreciate it. It makes me feel good that I can help them earn or get what they're after in life. And we really enjoy those letters. As long as I'm capable of doing that and Linda feels the same way, we're going to be big supporters of the grad school.
I'd now like to introduce Associate Dean Dr. Louisa Hope Weeks, who will introduce our student speakers.
I'm Louisa Hope Weeks, and while I'm new to the graduate school, I'm not new to Texas Tech. I've been here for 16 years, and in that time, I've seen how important our graduate program is to the health of this university. And in supporting that graduate program, it is vital that our students get fellowships so they can dedicate their time to their research efforts. And the next 3 students I'm going to introduce you to have really benefited from the fellowships with which they've been awarded. So Cecily Alexander is a non-conventional graduate student. She is working full-time, and Cecily and I go way back. She is very committed to K-12 education and making sure our younger generation get what they need. The next one is David Robledo, who is in our Department of Technical Communication and Rhetoric. David is committed to his work with the environment, and David regularly works with the food bank and impacts our local community. And the last one is Shelby Young. Now Shelby is a truly outstanding scientist. She's just returned to us from Australia, where she was working on a Fulbright scholarship. Shelby, though, is doing her master's in plant and soil science, and it is her plan to continue her education to get her doctorate.
Hello, my name is Cecily Alexander, and I am a proud Red Raider. I've been honored to earn soon to be all 3 of my degrees from Texas Tech University. And honestly, since I've been here, Texas Tech has been so gracious to bless me with scholarships for my bachelor's degree, my master's degree, and now even my doctorate degree. I'm so thankful to the graduate school for allowing me the opportunity to take some pressure off by awarding me a fellowship so that I can attend. My concentration of study is in education. I'm an educator for life. I work in the best district on the planet. I work for Lubbock ISD. And I am an educator at heart. And so working with students and turning around schools, that's my passion. And so I have embarked upon a journey in the educational leadership program, specifically in school improvement. And so that's why I spend most of my evenings studying and digging into how to make schools better, how to reform schools. And the program here at Texas Tech is second to none. And so I am just honored to be able to pursue my career, to become a better practitioner right here at Texas Tech University in the graduate school. Thank you so much to the Helen Jones Foundation for making this fellowship possible. I'm truly indebted. Thank you.
I was a media worker for about 15 years before joining the Department of English at Texas Tech and studying technical communication and rhetoric. In that time, I was trying to promote small-scale economy and environment. So when you think of things like the small-scale fishing industry, farmers markets, that's where I was putting my efforts, trying to promote that connection between environment and culture and economy. Trying to extend my reach, I started looking for programs, and Texas Tech's program of technical communication and rhetoric really stood out. They had a small enclave of researchers that were doing important work in environment. I was lucky to be accepted to the PhD program, and I was, I think, equally lucky to receive a fellowship from the Helen Jones Foundation. The support of the Department of English and the Helen Jones Foundation gave me that space that allowed me to research, gave me that time to spend in the library, not having to take a part-time job and being able to really focus and buckle down on researching. So support of the Helen Jones Foundation has been key, extremely instrumental in allowing me the space to move my research forward, to greater avenues in the support of small-scale economy and environment. Thank you very much. Your generous support has made this possible.
Hello, my name is Shelby Young. I started here at Texas Tech in 2012. I earned my bachelor's in plant and soil science with a minor in chemistry and political science. And then I continued on to get my master's in plant and soil science here at Texas Tech as well. And because of the fellowships I've gotten and how great the faculty is in the plant and soil science department and their excellent research facilities, I was able to build upon my master's and complete a Fulbright research fellowship in Australia over the past year. Now that I'm back, I'm continuing with the graduate school, working on a master's in agribusiness while working for the National Rural Water Association. I wouldn't have been able to do any of the great things I've been able to experience while at Texas Tech without the generous support of our donors here at the graduate school. Thank you.
Just a few announcements before we close. Certificates will be available to all our fellowship recipients. More information will be emailed to you about how we'll get those to you. I'd like to thank everyone for your attendance at this evening's event. And finally, I'd like to thank all the folks at Graduate School who helped put this event together. Congratulations again to all of our fellowship recipients. Thanks go to all the family and friends of our fellowship recipients for your encouragement and support. Thanks also to our administration, faculty, and staff for your vision and guidance. A special thanks go to our donors for making these fellowships possible. To you fellowship recipients, remember you didn't get here alone. Your friends and family supported you, the faculty and staff have guided you, and the donors have provided generously these fellowships. All have made your goals possible. Please be sure to thank them. Your experience here at Texas Tech will prepare you well for your careers, and I look forward to seeing you and the many contributions in the future. Lastly, remember the generosity that helped get you here, and please give back to make it possible for the generations to follow to realize their dreams as you've realized yours.